Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. Forgot to put my PNG tuber up. There we go. Hello. Welcome to Daphne, Lay, Daisy, Omen, Itzy, Jenny, and others who may be viewing. We had daylight savings. I don't really know if it started or ended. I don't really keep track, but we moved an hour forward on Sunday. So our stream is starting earlier according to Daph, because I'm not very good at time zone things, or time changes, but yes. So that will be happening until the next time daylight savings happens. How is everyone doing today? And Daph, you have the priority angel oracle pool. Is that the usual or something different? Welcome in, Gummy Pop. I'm well, thank you. How are you? How's Haniel? She's right on the corner of the bed, just out of the frame, but she's there. And she's sleeping, I think, but she probably hears me talking about her. We'll have this Haniel for today. Oh, okay, the sizing's freaking out. There we go. Hello, Mira. I did adjust the queue this time since last time it got a bit out of hand, but if you stick around, you can join in once we move on. Oh, thank you. Yes. I don't really know how to show without it being upside down unless I turn my camera around. But this is some henna I did earlier this week for the first time, because I hadn't done it before myself, and a lot of the lines are a bit not straight, but yeah, I think it was good for the first go. If you're in the sanctuary, I will send a picture soon in syncretism, because I was inspired by Alec, who is another community member, but I hadn't had a chance to send it yet. Thank you. I think it's really cool how it it's really darkened, because I wasn't sure what the darkening would be like or how long it'd take, but I only had it for 3 to 4 hours on Monday night. It's currently Thursday night, so pretty good. Make the background all Haniel. I don't know if I could do that. Imagine this table was a green screen and I put Haniel on it. Gummy, you're doing good, just tired from uni. Ah, okay. Well, hope you get good rest then. Do this pull for Daphne before we get into the queue. Okay. It's supposed to be 1 card, not 4. Alright, I'm just going to tell you what these 4 cards are. Home Help. So the prayer says, thank you for giving me the courage to ask for and accept help from you, the angels and others in matters regarding my family and home. Do more research. Thank you for clearly and gently leading me to the information that I need to know for my well-being. Please give me the courage to be assertive as I take charge of my healthcare needs. Oh, okay, it was 5 cards. Meditation. Please meditate with me and guide my mind and body to focus upon peace, health, and wellness. Consult a nutritionist. This is not medical advice. This is just what the card says. I turn my eating over to you and ask you to guide me to foods and beverages that taste good, are fulfilling, and support my health. And the last card is call upon Archangel Raphael for help. I ask for your healing help with, and then it says in brackets, describe your situation. Thank you for your divine healing intervention. Okay. That was your multi-pull because all the cards just flew out. First up, we have SLG Jenny Vlogs. Jenny, what can I do for your reading today? Let me know what you're after, if you have a preference for the deck. Yeah, he did. He was like, 1 card's not enough. Let me get 5 in there. We're not speaking until I do that meditation. Understandable. Right. Yep. I get that. I feel like it's a pretty universal experience that people get nervous to consult with their divinities about certain things, or like approach them about certain things for whatever reason. I'm just gonna quickly tag.
I didn't see that coming.
Try that. Anyone got any cool plans for the weekend? It is Thursday for, I think, most of us, but maybe you do have something cool you're looking forward to. Or maybe, like, even if not something cool, then something you're looking forward to. Having a friend over. Nice. Are you doing anything? Like, have any plans? Or is it just your friend coming over? Oh yes, PAX. Hello. Planning on doing tarot with your girlfriend? Oh, that's nice. Not for the weekend, but trying to build my desk later today. Yeah, you've been building a lot of furniture, which is pretty cool to see all your furniture coming together. I'm not sure if Jenny's still here. I'm gonna move her down the queue. Alright. It won't notify because I just manually moved it, but Daisy, if you want to let me know what you'd like for your reading, then I'll do yours. Got your shelf set up 2 days ago for Freya's and Aphrodite's altar. Nice! That's so awesome. I also got shelves last weekend, and they're really cool. Any deck reading from the Egyptian deity Amun. Alright, let's give this Egyptian tarot a go. I say a go. I've had this, like... I think this is either the first or second of the 3 Egyptian decks I got, but I don't use it as much as the Oracle decks. I feel like we can use it this time. All right. So your cards from Amun are the Seven of Cups or Seven Chalices, the Queen of Chalices, or Queen of Cups, and we have the Hierophant. So it feels good. It feels like there's some sort of offer I don't know if it's offer you've been made, but some sort of choice, because Seven of Cups is usually around choices and options and, which thing you're going to do, and sometimes being worried about making the wrong choice. And then when I also think about the Hierophant, it sort of reminds me or makes me think of transitions, particularly like through thresholds or past thresholds and doorways. So on the traditional Hierophant card, there's the keys underneath the foot of the Hierophant. And he can represent things like institutions and tradition and such, but also transitions, which I find really interesting. And when we look at the Queen of Cups, this is sort of telling me maybe what quality or how you may make the choice that comes with the Seven of Cups that you may be a bit stuck on at the moment. Is there any sort of decision that's coming to mind or options that you're sort of approaching that you may be seeking some advice on? Kinda. Well, the Queen of Cups usually embodies someone or qualities of compassion and emotion in a very nurturing, caring sense. So less about authority and more about you could say like the phrase of like pouring your heart out. And it's also coming from a place of very much understanding what you're thinking about or talking about or feeling, rather than being in a place where you may be less knowledgeable or at the beginning of the path. So it's something you're a bit further along in rather than at the beginning of, and that's something you can trust. So you can trust your experience and your pre-existing values around this topic. And also allow yourself to not have to see, I'd say, evidence or proof of something that is like in a very like hard stuck or a way that everyone needs to have like universal approval of. Like if you're making a choice, you don't need the universal approval. If you think it's something that you have a lot of regard for anyway, you have a lot of respect for or passion for or emotion behind, and that's a choice that you can make without having to prove anything or have some sort of like expert status on of like this thing. Egyptology, etc. Is that like study? Like if you're deciding to study it or something along those lines? I've been studying it for years now, but I want to take it to another step. Okay, that makes a lot of sense with the Queen of Cups and how I just explained. It's sort of something a bit more further along the line of. And that also makes sense with the Hierophant being about institutions, because it can relate to study, even if it's not traditionally like a Page of Pentacles or something. It can be representative, as I said, of moving through a threshold. So when it comes to wanting to take the next step and sort of making a choice out of those options, it seems like Amun is encouraging you to embrace what it is that you've already put your time and effort and emotions in so far, and to take that step through the threshold in this choice. Hi Vanji, I'm trying to guess when you'd be out of the ad. Makes sense. Yep. That's what your message is for today. Oh, thank you so much. May all of your deities bless you too. Oh, Vanji's out. Hello. Yes, today I have decided to try out the max thing on the queue, which I feel bad about because I don't like it when people try to join the queue and then it says you can't join the queue because it's maxed. But to try see if I can not have the queue get super long. We'll see if Jenny is back again. If not, we'll move forward. If someone wants to join the queue, there's a spot open now. Might need to move the queue along again. She can rejoin if she appears once again. So we'll get to Omen. There are now 2 spots on the queue if anyone would like to join. Alright, ever punctual. Let's do that comfort reading. Oh, that's a close one, Mira. Lucky you got in there. Alright, I need to... pronunciation. I feel like I already asked about pronouncing Sigyn. Okay. With a hard G sound. Okay. Comfort reading from Sigyn. Hello, Repticle. How are you today? Alright. So your 3 cards are Embrace Spirit, seek your destiny, and there is a fox on there. And we have this card that's Hear the Ancient Ones. That's probably why I was called to point it out. So that's really cool that you associate foxes with her. I think that's a nice nod to her then. When I pull the card Embrace Spirit, it represents the idea that a god or spirit or whoever is the one sending the message through the card has a lot to give and is very vast, like all deities are, and they're very vast and have a lot of energy. And we may think, oh well, is there room in that energy for me? Is there room in their vastness for me? Or am I just, am I not worthy of that? Am I not part of that? But when you are called to embrace spirit, it's very much an affirmation in the sense that there is something there for you to embrace. It's not like you have to go in there and hold your arms out and wait. She's already there and she's waiting for you to move forward and embrace her and to be open to that. You don't have to prove yourself or work hard for that embrace. It will just exist and continue existing. And so it's up to you. And we can move on to the middle card here, which actually uses the wording seek your destiny. And I do think that part of what she wants to say is how you are allowed to and have permission to go and find her and to seek her and to see her, even in the way we saw the fox on this card. It's like you have permission to notice her in your day-to-day and not just dismiss it as you trying to find something or you mistakenly finding something, because one, we can never prove if something is really a sign or not, and all that philosophy. But also you can have a bit of fun with it, and if noticing her in certain things makes you happy or is a way for you to express your devotion, then why not do it? I think, and that's what she thinks as well. It's like you don't have to hold yourself back or stop yourself from embracing her and engaging with her, even when it's not in a very formalized setting. She notes as well, it doesn't have to be a sit down and do a formal thing. And it's she said something along the lines of, it's not within her nature and the nature of her family to be very tied down in the ways that you can engage with them and speak with them and be with them. And it'd be ironic to think that that would have to be the case. So simply, if you see, then move forward and go for it. And in the last card here are the Ancient Ones. Just skipping the song. Here are the Ancient Ones. Sounds like she has something to say to you personally, to your face or to your ears when this card pops up, because it is a call to sit with her and sit with them, being the deities and the family, and listen and see what they have to say and not be afraid of what might come through. I think sometimes we get afraid of listening because we're scared that nothing will come through or what we hear is going to be difficult to hear. But in this case, she has something good to say and something that will help you in this situation and comfort you as well. Hello, Angie Whisper. Welcome in. Thank you for the follow. That is your reading from her today, Omen. You've been anxious to interact with many deities, including her. Ah. It's been a while since I've done a reading with her, invited her into your space. Like... Oh, yeah. Oh, well, you've been doing a lot of stuff, so of course. You're welcome. I'm glad it was helpful and resonated with your situation because... Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was the case of like you hadn't really spoken to her or if you actually were anxious about approaching her. But yeah, definitely with what she says, she's not as concerned about if you've done a reading with her recently or not, or formally done anything. She's, you know, around. But yeah, I think this card is very much the primary card where, you know, just get in there. Thank you to Sigyn, and thank you for the reading request. Alright, it's Gummy's turn. Oh, you're on it, Angie. Nice one. A general reading, whatever I need to know, / it's important to come through. Okay, cool. Oh, thank you so much. It's my first time doing henna on myself, or actually just henna in general. I haven't done it on anyone else, but yeah, it's my first time and decided to give it a go after seeing someone else in my community do it, and it was really cool. Alright, what does Gummy need to know? Okay, that was my... I got the card distraction, but that was for me because I was looking somewhere else and being distracted, so... Let me focus on this one. Okay, so we have the cards Higher Power, Magic of the Mind, and Reincarnation. So, Gummy, do you have much of a spiritual practice where something like reincarnation would be relevant? Just to check that before we begin or proceed. Usually open to all spiritual aspects. Okay, cool. I think this could actually be a good opportunity for you to do past life work. And I say that because it comes along with Higher Power and Magic of the Mind. And it's sort of this idea that sometimes when you dive into past lives, it's not... It can depend, like the practice can look really different, but specifically for this reading and how it's coming through, it's the idea that sometimes certain patterns that we have are based on things from previous lifetimes, and whether or not that's true, there has been instances where people have dived into past lives and have been able to heal physically and mentally because of that. Again, this is not medical advice or anything like that. Just could be a interesting path to dive down. There's a specific practice called past life regression, which is sort of a mix between hypnosis and sort of like a visualization or meditation and engagement with like just spiritual senses. Yep. So that could be something to look into as well. What else? A lot of these cards as well, like outside of the past life stuff, the theme between all three of these cards is the idea of like how you think and where you, like your frame of references. So for example, higher power is about how your faith works and sort of like when you don't have the answer, where do you go or who do you go to? Magic of the mind is about, you know, how your thoughts and mind like are used and like by yourself and affects the world around you. And reincarnation is a card that's also about past patterns and how past patterns can affect things in the future and how you can sort of work through behaviors that originate from earlier, whether it's a current, like it could be like a current life thing as well, engaging with the patterns that you have had in the past that still affect you to this day and identifying if there's anything you do want to adjust or change going forward and then what you want to do for that. So that's also the other side of the message here, because it's a very consistent theme about the mind and how thoughts and expectations affects the world around you. Okay, that's good. That's interesting and relevant. Yeah. Have a bit of a look and see how it goes. I'm happy about that. I took a bit of a risk going down the path of like, could be something related to past lives, not sure. But it paid off. You're welcome. Thank you for coming into my streams and for requesting the reading. Alright. Death's turn. Thanks for lurking. Yeah, I'm so happy as well. I really like it when you're here, Lay. I like it when all of you are here, but I was like, where's Lay? On fancy trips and stuff for work. Yes. You may start a poll for the D&D deck versus MTG deck for your reading. Mud powers. Choose Daphne deck for reading. Dang, that was fast. 3 votes for Magic the Gathering. I never phrase the question normally. Oh, it's almost a tie. Can I vote as well? Ah, I can. I made it a tie. Anyone gonna be a tiebreaker? Evil Quinn. Oh no. What have I done? I wanted there to be a tiebreaker. Alright. We can actually just do the Magic the Gathering Oracle because that was in the lead before I put my vote in. What's your request? For anyone waiting to join the queue, there is a spot to be joined. Meaning him, not you and me. Our convert about cheese pizza pretzels. Alright, so let's see. Comfort reading. I only chat to think we've got beef. Yes, the Quinn pretzels. The ones that I own. Because they have my name on them. Quetzels. Alright. Comfort reading from Fanny's. Alright, the first card is Exhaustion. The second card is You Are Your Words. And the third card is Inspiration. first thing, exhaustion. This card doesn't mean he's saying he's tired of you, just as a disclaimer. Unsure if it was necessary, but he wanted me to include it. More so, it's his recognition of how situations can really feel like this, where it's like you're pushing up a boulder and it's really tough and it takes a lot of work and you're doing it, like you're making progress, and it's like at least you can say that, but it really doesn't feel like it because all you can see as you're pushing up the boulder is just the boulder. So it's like all you have are the steps you take forward and the pushing of the boulder, but it's like really difficult to see the way forward. And that's something that he's acknowledging here. And even sometimes relationship-wise, it can feel this way where you're constantly trying to climb up a mountain, pushing a boulder. It's not so much about like he'll make it not happen anymore. It's not that he's going, like it's less about what he's going to do. And this card is more so about him wanting to give you more recognition for that work you put in and how he knows it's difficult because maybe you don't hear it enough. Maybe that's why he's saying it. Because it's not always about you trying to find a way to do it easier, because sometimes it's not about it being easier. Sometimes it's about just having that acknowledgement and someone who is willing to stand by you. Okay, you are your words. I have a feeling that someone or both said things that maybe they did not want to say or did not mean, which is a bit of a side note of something else, which was it was like this idea that even when you say things that you don't like want to say or you think were like pretty mean in hindsight or whatever, like it's like, you know, or like maybe you expressed something in the wrong way, or you could have used better words, or you could have just like spent a bit more time thinking about what you were going to say. It doesn't mean that they're like permanent words. So you are your words is really interesting because I think it also... Oh, no worries, Omen. Thank you so much for joining and getting that reading. Have a good day. It's sort of like you don't like overwrite those words or like dismiss them or pretend they never happened. It's more so that you can always just say more words and new words to work on a situation or to amend something or to express what you really meant or explain yourself or communicate clearly. So your words are not the enemy. They're not an attack. Like they're not an enemy is the best way to say it. Like words are not enemies just because they can be used in not good ways, but they can also be tools to help you in situations as well. So don't be afraid to like use more words to try to clear up a conversation, clear up your intentions, clear up what you meant, communicate more, express yourself, stuff like that. And inspiration. So inspiration is pretty cool because we have this figure here wielding the lightning bolts, and we also have a large owl behind his head. So it's sort of like this mix between electric power backed by wisdom. So the idea that you're able to make a lasting and electric move, so like a shocking move maybe. It's like a little bit out of the norm in vibe, a little bit it can be like exciting, exhilarating, stuff like that. But also it's not just that, it's backed by wisdom, knowledge, understanding. And so when you figure out a way forward for the situation or the conversation, you'll be able to do both, right? You won't just have to like wield the lightning bolt and throw it at someone. You also won't just have to not do it at all. You can do that and also have have that wisdom behind you for it. and you're likely to get some sort of burst of inspiration at some point. So maybe a message or maybe some sort of message or vision coming through at a later point that will advise you on this situation as well. That's the reading. You're welcome. I hope it helped or gave you some insight on things. Thank you to Fanny's for the reading, for joining in for the reading. Where's the cue? Okay. Van's next. What is your request? Okay, reading from Dionysus. We'll get out the D&D one for this. Is this like a advice reading or a comfort reading or something else that you're after? Whichever one he wants to bring. All right. Okay. These are nice cards. We have the Magician. And Judgment. And the Star. All major arcana. Okay, so this is pretty, like, I think this is obvious already, but he says he's not going to make a decision for you, or he's unable to. But he does want you to know that through the Magician, even when you doubt it, you do have the capability to make a choice or judgment on the situation, which can feel flat to hear, because, you know, sometimes when we're seeking, you know, advice or insight from someone else, such as, you know, Dionysus for you, you sort of desire to hear something else other than that. Though he is very much being the very supportive person in your circle, who is like your biggest cheerleader, who is so like, it's like hyping you up, like always puts the spotlight on you, doesn't want to steal the spotlight from you, wants you to be wants you to be recognized for all that you do and all that you are, even when you may not understand what that exactly looks like or means when he says that. There is reassurance here. The Magician is very particular in how it is about having, like, I love the phrase, like, having everything you need for this situation, which can, again, be difficult to fathom, but you do. You have different elements from different areas, even if they feel hard to pin down. But he thinks that just giving you that thought that he has, like the thought, like him having the thought and belief, because it's a really strong belief of his, that you are capable of being able to use your resources to make a decision or to gain a better understanding or have the space to be able to make a move or even not make a move in this situation, might enable you, like might help you to feel more confident in that, because he's confident in you. With Judgment as well, it's this card that when I see this, he's sort of, I get this vision of him bringing his hands together like this, so they're slowly coming in like this, and then you're like on the palms, and he's lifting his palms up. One of the themes of Judgment is the idea of like the rapture, like on the right away, but it's the idea of like raising or being like, you know, ascending is the right word. So he wants to uplift you, and just like, you know, this figure at the back here, you know, that's you, that's meant to represent you, and that's meant to represent him. And he sees this for you, this path forward where you're able to walk. And also, as we see here, a reflection, so reflect and make a step at the same time, with him behind you, like he's got your back, like super duper strong energy. Like the biggest message of this whole reading is I've got your back. And even if I'm not able to tell you the answer, if there's an answer you're looking for, even if I'm not able to say like, is this right for you or not, he can be there to talk to you. He can be there to he says like do an audit of your resources. So like sort of like if you are finding difficulty understanding what this means, like with the Magician, you can sit with him and he'll be your like mini therapist for a little bit and ask you guiding questions or make guiding comments that will allow you to figure out what he's talking about and get the bigger picture. And that's like part of his way of supporting you in this way of uplifting you to be able to see where you want to go. The star, of course, is our hopeful card, which is very beautiful. And I just think that it just fully supports the message that he has high hopes for you. Not because it's like you have so much potential and you have to make the most of that potential. It's not that. It's literally anything that you do and any choice you make, he knows that it's something that he'll be able to stand behind and to help you with and to support you with and to, cheer you on and ensure that you remain hopeful for any situation you're in, even when it's difficult. Also, hello. Forgot to say hello to Luca. That is what he wanted to come through with, Van, in terms of your situation. You are fully capable, and also he's got your back, which is even more powerful. He believes in you so, so much. Yeah, I think that might be the point that he doesn't want to tell you what to do. Or maybe just not through me and not today. Who knows, maybe tomorrow you'll get a reading and then he will tell you. Some things might have happened between now and then to make that happen. Because that tends to happen a lot with deities. They don't want to tell you the answer, but they give you a bit of advice, and then you follow the advice, thinking that's just what you have. And then the next day, they tell you the answer because you followed that advice. So, could be the case. Yeah. Sometimes he's really upfront and sometimes he's really cryptic. Alright, Mira, it's your turn. Let me know what you'd like for a reading. Oh yeah, feel free to take a minute for that. Yeah. And I mean, sometimes they do invisible actions that you can't really know, you can't see or know right now, but they don't want to tell you because it might affect your actions. I'm glad you liked the reading. And yeah, if you feel inspired, do some VC readings. Because people like your readings a lot. And that's how we met. Because we were doing readings. The signs have been very vague and murky. Do you mean the signs as in like if she's happy, if she's not happy? Yep, we got the lay vouch for Van's readings. Double confirm. Alright, let me put this deck away quickly. That's a lot of swords. Yep. 9 of swords, 7 of swords, 8 of swords. I'm not sure, like, I don't really interact with her that much, so I'm just going to express what's coming through, and maybe it'll hopefully resonate with how you do interact with her. She's saying, like, it's not really about her approving it or not. It's more so that if you feel like it's lacking, then she's not going to like it. She appreciates... I'd say, like, I don't know if it's devotional acts, but like devotional acts or ways of practicing with her that are fulfilling for you or resonate with you or come from somewhere that is important to you, like from the heart or from passion or from a, you know, of course, the devotion. And this doesn't mean that you don't do things out of devotion, because, you know, many practitioners who are deeper into their devotions have daily routines. Though she's saying that if your current daily routine feels lacking, then it's not worth trying to force it, because forcing it is what's not going to make her happy. Because if you're like being... It's sort of like the Nine of Swords is always like that keep you up at night card. So, but it doesn't have to be literal. It's like if there's something that's like on your mind that's making you anxious, that makes you worried, then that's not productive for her. It's not. She doesn't appreciate that as much as she could other things. And the Seven of Swords is an indication that you may not want to try tiptoeing around the issue, which is it feels lacking, even when you are busy and occupied. Like, are there other ways you can switch it up a little bit or move beyond the bounds? Because it seems like there may be a little bit of a resistance or reluctance to shift out of the bounds, perhaps because it feels like it's a betrayal or feels like you're doing wrong by her by changing things up your daily routine. Though with the Eight of Swords, sorry, it tends to be an indication that those expectations may be imposed by yourself rather than her. Because I honestly feel like I'm unworthy of her kindness due to my schedules. Ah. Well, that's the thing, right? Like, when a deity ends coming, like, feeling her energy, it seems like, especially from her, when a deity like her or a deity awards kindness for something like schedules, which is pretty, like, they do tend to understand our human restrictions and constraints, but she seems to prefer you to, even if you feel unworthy, to still accept her kindness. Like, she says something like accepting kindness or taking action based on her kindness and feeling worthy or unworthy of her kindness are two separate things when it comes to her. So even if you do feel unworthy, you can still make plans to take certain actions to try and amend a situation like this where you are feeling disconnected and it feels a bit lacking. And in time, you can work on the worthiness, but she doesn't want you to wait for you to feel worthy to do something about it. Your clock? Your clock fell? Oh, wow. That's one way to get attention. I feel like it is. I feel like that's her way of saying it. It's like it's funny because the clock is like, TikTok, come on, get on with it. Also, clock being related to schedules and busy time. Yeah, time. Right. I feel like, yeah, she's quite upfront with her message in this regard. You're welcome. Thank you so much for coming by and asking for the reading. I'm glad it helps. Thank you to Santissima for coming through for that reading. She was a little scary. She showed me like a scary image of herself. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do the reading and I'll see how it goes. But it was all okay. Yeah, she is. It's good to get that confirmation from a devotee. What's coming your way this month? Two of the same cards. That's interesting. Join the queue, Lay. Join the queue. Alright, I think there's like 3 to 4 things being brought up here. definitely thinking about it. Something about sleep schedule. Trying to think of what it is. We're trying to discern what it is. The first thing that came through when Nine of Swords came out was about sleep hygiene. I'm not sure if you're someone who isn't very good at keeping a good sleep hygiene routine, like not being on screens before you go to sleep and going to sleep at consistent, reasonable times. And also working on making your room a space, your sleeping space, a place that you can relax and actually go to sleep properly. Something about that's coming through. Let me consider. You have issues with that? Yeah. The Nine of Swords is connected to the Seven of Swords again, but in a different context this time. Temperature changes. If I were you, I'd have a bit of a check over what your sleeping situation is like. I get the feeling that you do a lot already, like you've already tried a few things to try and improve your sleep and to not like wake up so often and have like nightmares and such, but there's something about like the seasons changing and that also affects something for you. I'm unsure if you're in the northern or southern hemisphere, but either way it could affect if it's like too warm or too cold. If you have worries this month about how you're acting, so it's sort of like sometimes when we may act a bit differently than usual, we question ourselves, like, why are we acting differently? What's going on? Has something happened? Am I like, not in the wrong, but it's sort of like you kind of look towards yourself and think, what have I done to make this happen? The cards are sort of just saying it's to do with your sleep. So try not to stress too much if you come to a moment where you're wondering like about how you're acting, or even if someone else points it out to you saying, oh, you're a bit different this month, or you're a bit different this week, or today you seem a bit off, or something like that. It's not meant to be a true like thing that you've changed in a very significant way. It's not supposed to be an insult as well. It seems to just be about a matter of rest and how you're resting. So if that comes up in the next month, then or in this current month, then you can consider this connection rather than thinking it's something that you've done. Knight of Pentacles. So Pentacles are related to things like career, finances, study, material things. One thing that came through was like a deposit. If you're waiting for a deposit to come through, then it may come through this month. It could also be stuff like a new opportunity at work or at school. I'm not sure which one is more applicable to you, but could be an opportunity to have some development there as well. New opportunities to explore, and you need a job. Okay. Knight of Pentacles. So the Knight is about movement and things happening. So you might see some movement in that area this month because, yeah, movement within career or finances. Whether or not it's getting a job, it does seem like you might get a deposit of money from something. Could be a job, could be otherwise. The Three of Wands is promising to me because the Three of Wands is about a new adventure, taking a step out. The Two of Wands, which comes before it, is more about planning and having like a lay of the land and looking out there and formulating what you're going to do. Whereas Three of Wands is actually making those moves and taking those steps to do something and going on an adventure. So there does seem to be an opportunity that you will be embarking on or starting that you've been looking at for some time. It won't be coming out like out of the blue in terms of the concept behind it. Emperor as well. The Emperor card is typically representative of authority and control. It can also represent like an actual figure in your life, a male figure who could be associated with everything, well, not everything, but other things happening in this field as well. Maybe it's a connection that you'll meet or have no or do know that may affect things in terms of what you're looking for at the moment, for whatever opportunity is coming through for you. It could also be related to the field you're in, or maybe getting into. Don't have any prominent male figures. I don't think it's someone that is like it's not like family or close to you. It could be like a boss, a future boss, a future like mentor, someone who is some sort of guide or authority figure in your life. That doesn't have to be someone that's close to you. You might meet someone in October who can... It's more towards the end of October, so November-ish. Someone who may be coming through to help you going forward in terms of maybe learning something in terms of trying to get a job, or even helping you like more directly in that regard. And that's your analysis of the cards in terms of what may be coming up in this month. You're welcome. Best of luck with getting a job and any other opportunities that come your way and that you're seeking. May all the opportunities that you're seeking come to you. Alright, next one. We've got Luca up. Okay, spinning the daisy wheel. Were you the one where Hermes was trying to get in? Spin the deity wheel again. And we're gonna spin it to Hermes, cause he was the first one. Fist bumps through screen. Hell yeah, Hermes. So true, so true. Alright. Today's reading will be with Hermes. Do you have a preference for deck? Or a question? Yes, we can do the D&D deck. Hey Lay, if you want a reading, you should totally queue because the stream might be shorter than usual since I do have a flight to catch tomorrow morning, so I don't want to sleep too late. Alright. Let's see what Hermes has to say to Luca. Hee hee hee. Alright, so your message from Hermes has the following cards. It is the Six of Wisdom, the Four of Charisma, and also the Empress. My first question to you, Luca, which is my like third first question because I asked you a bunch of questions leading up to this reading, is have you already spoken to Hermes or had a reading in regards to what he might be looking for, like, to work on with you? You have not. Okay. So the Six of Wisdom is a card that represents childhood innocence, joy, and nostalgia. It's equivalent to the Six of Cups, with the two children on the card and they're exchanging cups and there's flowers, and it's a very sweet card. It's like about gift giving, reciprocity, about innocence and childhood, and yeah, nostalgia. He's someone who, for you and your practice, he wants to help you beyond. it's like earthly something. I don't know if it's earthly matters, earthly possessions, but it's what's coming through for the fourth charisma, which is the sense of he would like to help when it comes to those feelings that you may experience about if you have enough, or considering what you have, and if you're it's like the concept of if you're doing good enough, but tying the idea of you being good enough or doing enough to your material or physical possessions or what you can show for yourself. So sometimes it can be like aesthetics based. So for example, if you look on TikTok and like you see people with all their really like aesthetic things like altars and statues and offerings, you think, oh wow, that person's really achieved, or they're really advanced, or they're doing really well, or they're doing so good, or they have so much and I wish I could have that too. And it's things like that that he wants to work through in whatever way that resonates with you. I don't know if those are the thoughts you have, but it's what's coming through, that he's saying the idea that you have to hold on so tightly to things like physical possessions or material ways of seeing who you are and what you're worth, really. He wants to work beyond that and remind you that there's more to who you are and more than to what you can do than that. And that's the sort of working relationship that he's looking for in terms of helping you in your current, I like to use the word arc, your current arc. The Empress as well comes through with a nice nurturing energy, and it also often can represent the actual like person querying, the querent. Not necessarily that it's trying to designate a feminine versus masculine thing to you, more so that the Empress is someone who is pampered, taken care of, and nurtured themselves as well. It's like they can give, but also an Empress knows how to receive because she's an Empress. And so it's very similar actually to the Six of Wisdom in that regard of giving and receiving and the reciprocity. And he wants you to have that realization and ongoing realization and development in terms of being able to not only give out to others, but also learn how to receive in a very graceful, grateful manner that doesn't have you, for example, thinking that you don't deserve something or it shouldn't be you getting the things. It's very gracefully saying thank you for this and being great, having the gratitude for it and being able to express that without the negative ties or feeling like the strings attached. Hopefully that makes sense to you for what that might look like between you and Hermes. Yippee! I like it when things make sense to people. Because sometimes I just be saying things. Not that I'm making it up, but it's all in my personal training arc of me trying to learn to trust my intuition and my clairsenses. But yeah, that's all really exciting and a great thing for him to help you with. You're welcome. Alright. Leposaurus, it's your turn. Let me know what you'd like for your reading if you have a deck preference as well. Hello, Annabella. Spirit guide reading with the deck of your choice. I am doing well, though I am a bit sleepy, so I am just doing a couple more readings before I'm probably going to head to sleep, calling it an early night tonight. I say early, it's currently midnight, but yeah, a bit of an earlier finish to the stream. Oh, thank you. Hopefully you can join next time and get a reading, because yeah, usually I do have a longer stream. Just filling up my water. Okay, that was me dropping the cards. Oopsie. Let's try that again. We got a similar combination of these cards the other day. Yeah, they're flying. They're dropping and flying and shooting out and everything. Okay, so Lapisaurus, your first card is Tunnel Vision. Your second card is Knowledge. And your third card is Face Your Fear. Okay, so your guidance today, well, your spirit guides are wanting to provide you guidance today through these cards. So it's an interesting thing the few times we've gotten Tunnel Vision as a card, because each time they've come through as the way you wouldn't expect, which is not so much that you're tunnel visioning too much, is that the cards are asking you, or the spirit guides are asking you to tunnel vision, which can be interesting because it implies that you may be trying to cast too wide of a net. So you're trying to apply something really widely, or you're trying to do everything at once, or maybe even the idea of trying to do everything at once is so overwhelming that you end up not doing anything in terms of trying to, by the time we get to the end of this, face your fears. So it could be that concept, like the idea that you may be trying to do a lot rather than trying to focus. And I think the difference between the card Focus coming out, because there is a card that says Focus, versus Tunnel Vision, is that it's not about a single point of focus or a mindset of focus. It's Tunnel Vision kind of comes with the idea of making a plan and committing to it. So picking one thing to focus on, so that's the focus, but then putting action behind it to tunnel vision it, because a tunnel is like a long tunnel, right? It's not just a doorway. It's a continuous effort and continuous movement. Just like the Cyclops is moving through, this town at a continuous rate. Part of your advice or guidance on which way to go is based in knowledge. So learning. The idea that the more you know, the more you'll be prepared to be able to figure this out. And it's not so much about knowledge as in hearing what other people say and taking their opinions and trying to make your own. It's go out there and find the knowledge that you're looking for directly and then form your opinion from there. So don't try to base it off of other people. Don't try to find a shortcut in this. There is value in trying to seek the knowledge in any conflict or situation that you're in, whether that requires research, whether that requires you sitting there and observing, whether that requires something different from how you usually may navigate a situation that tries to, in a way that tries to cover all bases, because in this case, it's not about covering all bases. And from there, you'll be able to, commit, find knowledge or get knowledge, and then face your fears. So you'll be able to reach this point of this journey that your spirit guides is telling you about, in terms of being able to actually face your fears, not just because you are aware of them and you're trying to do all you can to prevent them or to contain them, but that you've made a targeted, specific plan to face your fears. So to get from here to here, you can do these steps. You're welcome. I'm glad it makes sense. Thank you for coming into the stream and for requesting a reading. Feel free to stick around for a bit. We're just going to do one more reading and then we're going to go raid someone. But thank you so much. It's Lay's turn. Yay! Oh, thank you. I don't know if I feel like I forgot it last time, but I don't really remember. Can I have advice from the advice from the team as a whole on how I can best carry my practice into my new lifestyle with my changing job? Ah, okay. Not this one. Okay, the first thing someone said was just talk to us. It was a male voice. I'm trying to determine who it was. It wasn't meant to be ouch. It was meant to be lighthearted. Like, you could just talk to us if you want. Like, you can just come speak. Let me consider. Okay, this is going to be a little bit funny. So they're just like saying stuff and there's no cards out. And so, one, do I have permission to just tell you whatever it is that's coming through without the cards? Or would you rather I draw cards? And two, I think that's actually kind of relevant to the situation because of the fact that you just said that your decks are a little dusty. And then they're saying like you could just talk to us. It's the idea that there doesn't have to be like a formal like reading to speak with them or communicate. But I'll wait to get your permission to continue just saying things. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for the permission. So yeah, I think it's very relevant because like you're very capable, Lei, with your senses. Like you have very strong senses and intuition. And you can use that to your advantage in this situation, and they want you to use it to your advantage. So it's not even like about sitting down and meditating and having like a quiet moment, because sometimes that's difficult, especially because you have a busy lifestyle with your job. So they're not saying sit down and be still and listen to them. It's like, you know, find moments where, for example, like let's say you have a walk between, this is like just an example, like from your transport, so a car, tram, train, to a building, like your workplace. Sometimes, and a lot of the time in our modern society, people would be on their phone or listening to music or doing something like that to stimulate their mind as they're walking between two locations. And rather than just using that time as like to just kill the time, it can be a very short and quick moment of like checking in or tuning in with a certain deity or spirit in your practice. Not every interaction you have with divinity has to be an extensive ritualized divination. A lot can happen in like 2 minutes because the way that divinity speaks to us, as you know, sometimes isn't linear and sometimes isn't by the same ways that like I'm speaking to you right now with words, sentences that are paced out that you're hearing from me right now, and you might not exactly know what I'm going to say next until I say it. Whereas sometimes when we speak with divinity, it's like the knowing, so the claircognizance or the knowing of, and you just get the concept or the idea, the impression in your head. And sometimes words can accompany that in the way that they're expressing it, but sometimes there's all these other things that come through. And so it's this idea that like you can engage with them in short amounts of time, and you don't have to feel guilty for having to do it while you're out and about, if it's how you can fit it into your schedule. And you don't have to feel guilty about it being short as well, because time is just different, and the way that they can express themselves in a little amount of time can be surprising, as you probably know. One of the other things they said was, what is important to you in your practice in terms of what actions or activities are very significant that makes it feel like you are engaging in your practice. So, for example, if like divination, right? So divination is something that you do a lot. Like I know something I know. Words I associate with you. There's the words. Divination is something I associate with you, so I'm assuming it's something that could be significant to your practice. Let's say it's that you want to find ways to bring this into your into your practice now that your lifestyle has changed a bit. Rather than doing like a spread of cards for like each deity and trying to interpret them and write down the notes, you could try something like literally just pulling a single card out of your deck for each one that you want, like each deity in your team or spirit in your team, or even like a select few, or even like you can assign specific like different days and cycle through them. Just pull one card and don't even write an interpretation down. Like maybe if you want to write the card down, so you pulled the, like, let's say you pulled the Queen of Pentacles, you write down Queen of Pentacles and the date, and then maybe you don't even have to do the interpretation. Maybe you just think about it in your head and like that's still carrying on your practice, like a divination practice, but it's like making it more accessible for yourself. The whole conversation that they're having here is the idea that like you can make things accessible for yourself and not feel bad about them. It's like just because you're not doing this doesn't mean you're like doing something wrong or doing something bad. They want you to find ways to do things while you're on the move. Hermes in particular is very like hyped about that. He says, you know, adapting to like a lifestyle where you like might travel more or be more busy with work or have like these different things going on. That's like his bread and butter. That's like his thing, right? People don't sit still. Like he says something like people don't sit still around me, which is I don't know what that's. I guess that means something. It's like he doesn't expect you to sit still and be still for him. It's actually more fun to figure out ways to do things while on the go. Taking a sip of water. For Lucifer, do you have some sort of like thing you've done before where it's like a grounding exercise? Like a very, like, it's not quick, it's just like short, like something with breathing, like holding your hand on your like chest, like your heart or something, or it's like breath work with some like somatic aspects where like you're holding your hand to something. Is that something you've done before with him? A very specific method I usually use. Okay, he's bringing that up. I don't know if it's like easy to do in your circumstance. You don't have to explain what it is, but he's bringing that up as a potential thing to bring into your practice and to carry it into your new lifestyle. It doesn't have to, there's no like specific frequency he's asking for. He's just saying that that could be really useful. What else is there? And then Hecate is also part of your practice as well. What does she want to say? Okay, she says like literally visit the crossroads where you are. Like if you find it difficult to practice, as in like the setup, like it's like this, I'm getting this vision of like you get like a lot of jars and you put it on your table. It's like, you know, when you make a spell jar or like a spell, you get a bunch of different ingredients and you arrange them and you make a plan and you have a sigil and you have an incantation and all those preparation aspects of doing like witchcraft. I'm not sure if you still I don't know if you do witchcraft as part of your practice. It's slipping my mind right now because I'm a bit tired, but she's saying like sometimes all it takes is a visit to the crossroads. Ah, nice, magician. Yeah, all it takes is that. Like you don't need a million ingredients to do something with her. Also do something with any of your deities or spirits. By engaging with the physical aspect of going to a crossroads, that's already like a devotional thing that is like for her, and you can do magic or you can do practice with her without all of the tools. So don't let a limitation of tools affect your ability to practice. Loud and clear. Okay, cool. I don't actually know who else is in your practice, who else is on your team, apart from like if it's like spirit guides and ancestors. But if you have any other specific deities you want me to tap into, then let me know. Otherwise, I think you have a few things to work on. Okay, cool. We've hit all the main ones then. One that you're teeny tiny bit curious about. Is it a Hellenic god? Or just because I'm curious, I'm wondering who this one is that you are curious about. Whomst is the curiosity? Ah, Apollo. Cool. Him flashbangs me. Okay. I appreciate you, and I appreciate that you appreciate me. I'm happy to have done that style of reading for you, because yeah, the last time I did like a non-card reading like that on stream was a bit ago, but that one was like right into it. Like they all had like stuff to say. So I'm really glad I could communicate that to you and help you with that advice. There's just something in the back of my mind with him right now. Ah. My DMs are always open, but also I'm just being a sticky beak, so you don't actually have to tell me stuff. Only if you want to. I'm glad you're back too. It's nice to see you in the streams. And thanks for queuing, even though I peer pressured you. All right, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me in the stream today. I am going to be going sleepies. So let's go look for someone to raid. Hope you will join me again next week, because it's always really nice to do these readings for you all. If you're interested in any private readings, I do have private readings on my Ko-fi, ko-fi.com/crossroadstarot. I offer a range of different readings very similarly to my rules for stream. And they are, you know, private, written down, or you can request a reading video reading, audio reading, different format if you want. And also message me on Ko-fi if you want to ask about different questions you might want to inquire about, if I can do them or not. But yeah, it's a good way to support the cause, support my channel and my free readings, which I do every week. So thank you for considering if you do, and you can also just donate if you feel inclined to. Thank you, Tossman, for the follow. We are just wrapping up for the stream. Thank you, Lay. Thank you, Annabella. All right, let's see who's streaming right now. Who's streaming? Oh, not a lot of the usual people are streaming, actually. Okay, we'll go raid It's Practical Magic. Nice. Okay. Catch you all next time. Good night.